Lauren called me Saturday night to see if I was still mad. I told her I wasn't, and she said she hadn't gotten to speak to Christian yet. I wasn't pressed about Christian or Nikki. I didn't do anything, and I don't like her funny looking boyfriend. Kiana called me, and I told her what happened at the salon. Lauren always in some shit. Somebody told me earlier she was fucking Jason and Tate, Kiana says. Wow, you didn't know? Who told you? I question instead of answering. I saw Aaliyah, and her best friend is Tate's cousin, but Jason's friend. Aaliyah's best friend is, India, right? Yup. Wow. I paused for a few seconds. I wonder if they're aiming to play and expose her now. Not sure how, but definitely seems fishy. Maybe I'm just overthinking. Lauren? Gotta chill though. You told Tay? Kiana breaks the silence. No, he is gonna try to kill Christian and anyone on the block at the time. She starts laughing. This is true. What's up with Claudia? Same shit. Same shit. Literally. She sounds exhausted. I start laughing. What do you mean? Girl, if I hear Evan's name one more time, I will vomit. I start laughing harder, which makes her laugh. Shut up, son. I can't stop laughing. What's going on with them? Nothing. She's still asking if I think he loves her. I mean, who knows what Evan does or doesn't do? He has a baby and clearly a Tiffany. Word. But she's so in love, so she is a dummy. We are 15. There are people who are married to the person they were with from 15. I tried to give Claudia a defense for her reasons. Stop trying to be her lawyer, son. Those people don't have a baby and a Tiffany in the back seat. I start laughing. You got it. She starts laughing. I'm sorry, but I get so tired of hearing it. Kiana and I stayed on the phone for probably over an hour, talking about anything, everything, and mostly nonsense. The weekend seemed to fly by. Before I knew it, it was Monday again. School wasn't that bad. I just mostly hated waking up early. My school days were pretty typical. The only thing happening in more excess is probably the ease of cutting class. The school had a truancy problem. Cutting class is as easy as attending class. During the week, we usually skip one class a day, and if there's any substitutes, we'll skip that class too. Today, the dean seemed to be in the hallway more than usual. I heard some kids talking about a cut sweep that happened. I guess we were in class when that happened. Thankfully, I don't need my mother called. After school that day, we all decided to go to McDonald's to get something to eat, since we didn't get any food in any of the lunch periods we went to today. When we walk in, there aren't that many people there, but Shania went to hold us a table anyway, and the rest of us went toward the line to order. What do you want, fat ass? Damien says from the line back toward the table where Shania was sitting. A number 2. Damien nods and turns back around to order their food. Jules orders his food, Tony, Gigi, and then me. We sat at 2 separate tables that were side by side, so we had more space. Brightness, you gonna eat all that? Jules asked. Definitely, I replied. I had a number 2 with a 4-piece nugget. She is skinny, but she can eat, Tony says. We all start laughing. Light bright ass don't gain no weight, Shania says. I'll be thick one day, but not today, Tiny and Bright, Damien says. Everyone laughed harder. As we are laughing, this dude walks over to Jules and whispers in his ear. He looks like he could be related to Jules. He's just shorter, but they almost look identical in appearance. Jules' expression was blank while the dude was talking to him. Damien and Shania look unbothered and continue eating. Tony, Gigi, and I mind our business as usual. When the dude finishes talking to Jules, he looks at the table and says, "Stay up, y'all," and leaves. Damien gives a head nod. Shania says, "You too." The rest of us say nothing. I don't think he was speaking to us anyway. "So?" Damien says. "Count short, dumb shit," Jules replies. "Whose fault?" Shania questions, almost getting annoyed. "It's fine," Jules says, shrugging his shoulders. Shania starts to speak and Jules cuts her off. "Just leave it," he says. "But who?" Shania starts up again. "Leave the shit alone, Shania," Damien says. I see him make a motion at the fact that we were at the table. Shania says nothing and just sits quietly after that. Jules attempts to change the topic, but you can see he's annoyed. Jules has like 8 brothers. All the motherfuckers look alike, Damien says. "They all sexy as shit," Shania says. "I'm gonna throw up in my mouth," Damien says and starts gagging. "Don't be jealous." "Jealous? Don't ever like me, my man," Damien says back to her. Everyone, including Shania, starts laughing. "I hate to cut this short, but I gotta go," Jules says, but mostly looks at Tony while he's speaking. Tony nods. She looks slightly annoyed. We stayed a little longer chatting amongst each other before we all parted ways. When I get home, my mother was on the phone with her friend and she looked pissed. I waved and went in my room. No sooner did I get myself situated did she fling my door open. "You're cutting class," she says in an aggressive tone. "Huh?" I try to regroup before I tell her myself. "Are you cutting class?" She maintains her aggressive tone. "I don't go if I have a sub, sometimes." I try not to seem obvious. I mean, that isn't a total lie. Had a conference with your dean and guidance counselor. You have multiple unexcused absences. When I had a substitute, I reiterate. "That doesn't mean you cut the class, Summer. I'm going to think about transferring your school." "What? Why?" "I am not dealing with you cutting school. Whatever little boy you're into, whatever you're doing when you cut, I am nipping that shit in the bud right now. I'm not helping you raise no baby at 15. I look at her confused. "I'm sorry you and Dad had me at such a young age, but..." I just stop. I shake my head. "I don't want to change schools," I continue. "You don't get a choice. I'm looking into sending you to Andrew Jackson. They have a good law program there." She turns around and walks away. Ugh, this is the fucking worst. Jack is even further than Flushing. It's in the opposite direction, and I just don't want to change fucking schools. I could call my father to advocate for me or ask Sharif, but neither of them is gonna want to hear an acceptable reason for cutting. I walk out of my room to ask if I could go to Lauren's house real quick. My mother is back on the phone. She rolls her eyes and nods her head. I go back to my room and grab my keys and jacket. I wasn't going to stay long and hear more shit from my mother. As I walk out the back door to the building, Maurice was standing off to the side like he was waiting for someone. Hey, Summer," he says in a nervous tone. "What's up?" I keep walking. I realize I was probably a little brush off. I didn't mean for it to come off that way. My mind is racing. I really don't want to travel to Jackson. I get to Lauren's building and the door is broken, so it's unlocked. I go up to the second floor. I knock, even though I know the door is open. "Who?" I hear from behind the door. "Summer." The door flies open. "Hello, other daughter." Lauren's mom steps to the side for me to walk in. "Hey, Mommy." I walk in and smile. Lauren is in her room. "Thanks, Mommy." I walk toward her room. I knock on the door and it opens almost instantly. Lauren opens the door and she has her cordless phone to her ear. "What's up, nerd? What's wrong?" She has a confused look on her face. "The school told mommy I've been cutting and now she wants to transfer me to Jack." "Jack? What the fuck?" "Who is that?" I point at the phone. "Christian." I roll my eyes. "He just asked me to three-way you so he could apologize." "I'm good. He's good. We good." "You heard her." She listens for a reply. "Christian goes to Jack, some." "What does that mean for me? I don't want to go to Jack." "And since when you started cutting?" "Recently, but fuck, man." "You can't get caught, nerd." "Wasn't my plan." "Is Jack what they say?" Lauren repeats my question to Christian and waits for a reply. "He said, not more than flushing with their rep and how they are." I nod. "When is she transferring you?" "Fuck if I know. She wants me to take law there too. I don't care about those stupid ass classes." "You've been cutting law." "Sometimes, but sometimes Spanish, or if my teacher is absent, I say." Lauren puts her finger up in a manner for me to wait a second. I guess Christian was talking to her. She says okay a few times and hangs up. "That nigga is weird," she says. "Why?" "I think he likes you." I cut her off. I am not in the mood to entertain this shit. "He doesn't know me, but anyway." "Yeah, well, he wanna get to know you. He got mad flustered talking about you coming to the school." "He gotta relax," I say. "He does. And Nikki goes there too." "I don't care. I don't like her nigga like that." "I know, nigga, but he literally always asks about you." "I literally don't care about that or him." I roll my eyes. "Sorry, but when is she going to Jack?" "I didn't even ask. I'm shocked she let me come here and didn't threaten that I can't leave the house ever again." "No punishment." She looks at me in a puzzled fashion. "Not one that she mentioned, and you know by now she would have taken back everything, including my life, if that wasn't a murder charge." "Yeah, seriously," she nods. I stayed a while longer and then went back home to start my homework. The next morning, as I was getting ready for school, my mother was in the kitchen making coffee. She usually isn't up when I get up. "I'm going to visit Jackson today," she says as she stirs her coffee. I nod to acknowledge her speaking to me. I'm not gonna be combative. Won't get me anywhere. "If I like the school, I'm transferring you." "Okay, Mom. I'll see you later." I walked back to my room to finish getting ready for school. She knew I was annoyed, but I also know she doesn't care. If it's one thing she wasn't as lenient with, was school. When I got to school that morning, I didn't even go to the store to meet everyone. I wasn't really in the mood to be chatty at the moment. I'll tell them what happened at lunch. I went to every class, but it seemed like everyone was in class today. The halls were quiet. Felt like it took forever to get to Spanish class. I hadn't been here in a while. "Summer, where have you been?" Miss Rios says, looking concerned. "Sorry, miss." I walked to my seat. Right behind me walking in was Tony and Gigi. "Well, this is a strange surprise," Miss Rios says. This causes me to turn and look behind me. We all smile at each other and take our seats. Tony turns around and mouths, "They called your house." I nod my head and roll my eyes. Miss Rios is still trying hard to gain control of the class, but not much has changed. Still a circus. I copied my notes off the board and started on her homework. Thankfully, it was mostly self-explanatory. When the bell rings, we all walk to lunch together. We even see Jules, Damien, and Shania coming out of their classes. "It's gonna snow," I say. Word, these niggas went to class? Tony says. Shut up, thing one and thing two, Damien says. Jules kisses Tony on her forehead, and we all start walking down the stairs toward the lunchroom. We get to our spot in the hallway and start chatting. Y'all got a phone call? Tony asks. I did. My mother talking about transferring me to Jack. Jack? Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. She went there today, supposedly. I went to class because my PO is checking my attendance records, Shania says. That is the worst, Damien says. Y'all gotta learn to behave, Jules chimes in. Everyone starts laughing. We walk toward the lunchroom. So, Brightness, you promised to go to class, Damien asks. I didn't say shit. The more I say I don't want to go, the faster she will make me go. I hope when she gets to Jack, she don't like it and threatens me to go to class instead of moving me. I shake my head. We find our table and sit down to start playing spades. Put the cards away, Tommy says, walking through the lunchroom. Huh? I say. No cards, ladies and gentlemen. No cards, Tommy repeats. Jules picks up the cards and puts them back in the box. I roll my eyes. Nice to see you too, Miss Williams, Tommy says. They're acting like we're in jail, Gigi says. In jail, you can play cards, Shania says, and all of us start laughing. We finished bullshitting for the rest of lunch, and we all went to every class for the rest of the day.